And as usual, we have ethics and corporate social responsibility right at the end here. The reason it's at the end is because it's really not at the heart of what a business does, and a lot of business owners will even tell you that it's their job to not care about ethics and all that sort of stuff. They just need to make sure that they're making a profit. Not all business owners, obviously, but it's becoming more and more and more of a requirement for businesses to do this sort of ethical stuff, to go beyond the legal decision and the technically legal I can do this kind of decision, because customers are actually asking and they're demanding that businesses become more ethical and more corporately socially responsible. So we're going to look at the two different decisions that a business can make in three different situations, and we're going to look at what the best decision financially is, and we're going to look at the best decision ethically. Now, I've got the best decision financially in yellow. I was going to put in red, but it's not really a bad decision for the business to do that. So financially, doing that decision, it might be better for the business to do it. But to go a little bit further, it's probably best that they do the most ethical thing. And, businesses will, in every business course you ever do, will always talk about ethics and usually tacked onto the end. But usually the business is going to do whatever's best financially. Sometimes that also happens to be the best ethical decision. I'm going to explain that in a sec. So, say the economy is in recession. Financially, the best decision for a business is to lay off their full-time workers, and if they do need work to still be done, like if production hasn't, completely ceased, they might hire casual workers to replace the current workers. So hiring casuals, even though you're going to pay them a little bit more per hour, they cost a lot less to the business. What's the best decision ethically? Well, keeping the full-time workers would be, far more ethical, because they might have put in, 20 years and, they might have made a lot of, profit to the business. So why not support them for a couple of months while the economy is not going well? The other decision that they can make is for the management and the owners to take cuts. So the economy is in recession, production has gone down. How about we just take a hit to our profit rather than just firing workers? Let's not try to make sure that we have a profit no matter what. Let's say, you know what? You shareholders, you've been with us for a long time. This year, you're not going to get any money, right? And we're not going to get any money. No one's going to make any profit. We're just going to allow our workers to stay on, even though production has decreased a little bit. That's an ethical thing to do. What they do in some countries, in Scandinavian countries, is they use that downtime to increase the skills of the workers through training. Like, their model is, okay, we're not going to fire people. We're probably going to need these people in 6 months' time when production picks up again. So let's keep them with us, and let's also train them. Let's use their downtime rather than just saying, you know what, don't come to work 1 day a week or 2 days a week, or don't come back to work at all. Why don't we say, you know what, come to work. We're going to, do the production stuff 3 days a week or 4 days a week. And then we're going to increase your skills and your training to get ready for when production does start up again. Because the one thing that we know about recession, countries come out of recession, right? So why not prepare for that? The second situation is if labor costs are increasing. So if workers, are generally getting increases in wages, the best decision financially for the business is to just, go overseas, to outsource that work globally. Ethically, though, you might be able to find other areas of the business to cut costs, and allow for lower profit levels just in general. Just say, you know what, we're not going to go for a record profit every year, Commonwealth Bank. We're going to try and provide better lives for our workers rather than just endlessly seeking a higher profit. A third situation is if the workers are organizing some industrial action. Financially, the best decision is just to go, you know what, we're going to take a hard line here. We're just going to lock all the employees out, and we're going to get the police. We're going to bring in strike breakers, aka scabs. We're going to bring those people in to complete the work, because that financially is the best thing. We don't want our workers going on strike for weeks and weeks. Having like the Grocon dispute. We don't want them to stop other workers from getting in. So we are going to just get rid of our staff for taking that action. Sometimes legally they're not allowed to do that, but when they are, it's still not the ethical thing to do. The ethical thing to do is to say, you know what? These workers, they're not going on strike for nothing. Like, they're not getting paid while they're doing it. So they're not just doing it for fun, and they're not doing it because they're lazy. Let's listen to their concerns, and let's respond to their concerns. Earlier rather than just waiting until the industrial action happens. Let's talk to them, frequently and find out what they're concerned about and then do the right thing by them. But you do need to remember that the ethical decisions in the long run are usually going to be a good financial decision as well. Why? Because businesses will get a good reputation for acting ethically or being, socially responsible. So even if you're doing socially responsible things like, environmental stuff, financially is not the best decision. But if you can then market on that, if you can say, you know what, we're the number one blah, blah, blah in environmental blah, 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 then it can also be the best financial decision. So you need to make that point that the ethical decision or the responsible decision can in the long run work out to be the best financial decision. So it's kind of a win-win situation.